Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon and good evening. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there, enjoying your Saturday. I missed you guys yesterday. I have good reason. I mean, it was not in my control, so I'm trying to do a little bit of catch up and do this story this morning. But you know what? I kind of was like, you know what? This is going to be, a little bit lighter of a conversation anyway. So, it's not as heavy. So I figured, this might be a good Saturday conversation. Yet I'm sure it's going to be a little scandalous. And I know that there's going to be a lot of differing opinions in this conversation. I'm sure of it. I'm already feeling it. I can predict what some people might feel as. And we're going to talk about both sides of this situation because this is very bad. But at the same time, we are going to be talking about a bunch of things, a whole bunch of things. Like we're going to start from the beginning, from where the scandal started, and then we're going to go into what we are get all the way up to what the recent bombshell is, which is absolutely crazy, y'all. I just got to say, it's absolutely nuts. All right. This is scandalous, is all hell. And then it just got even more crazy just the other day. And again, you see it in the title, you see it on the thumbnail. The amount of the crazy lack of accountability, in my personal opinion, is absolutely insane. But we got to talk about both sides of the fence, which we will be talking about. And of course, I'm going to be putting in my 2 cents here. And I have a feeling that there's going to be a whole lot of that's what she said moments. I'm just going to say that now because this story is very, very insane. Very, very scandalous. For real. All right. So before we jump into everything, I'd really appreciate it if you guys can hit that like button down below. Send it past 300 likes as you guys start to file in, because I haven't talked about this story yet at all on this show at all. I mean, I've had conversations with my friends and whatnot about this, but I have not talked about this out loud with y'all. So I figured we'll start from the beginning, go to where we are now. This woman, this ex-cop, even had an interview, which we are going to be looking at as well. There's quite a bit to consume here. Quite a bit. Okay. It's just an absolute cluster F. All right. So hit that like button down below. Send it past 300 likes. That would really, really mean a lot. And of course, do not forget to crush and destroy that subscribe button. Your boy's working hard out here in these streets to give you the conversations and the stories that you need for the day. Okay, let's get into this. Okay, let's get right into it. Now, this is, again, very, very surprising of a story. And it's got everything you need. Okay, it's got scandal. It's got dirt. It's got a whole lot of stuff. And it all revolves around people doing very adult things in places that they shouldn't be doing adult things at all. Now, there is a ex-cop by the name of Maegan Hall. All right. Actually, that reminds me. Let me get this going too, because I know a lot of y'all are wondering. Whoops. I know a lot of y'all are wondering who she is. So let me pull up her face for you guys. And I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot of her face in just a minute, but this helps. This helps tell the story. Okay. But her name is Maegan Hall. I've seen her name spelled so many different ways. I think the way I have it, the way I have it spelled is the correct way. All right, but I've seen it the this way. I've seen it with the EA. I've seen it with just an E. It's been insane. But long story short, her name is Megan Hall. That's all that matters. She's an ex-cop. Well, now she's an ex-Tennessee cop because she was involved in a very extremely mind-blowing scandal involving other people in her department. She was in quite a she was caught basically having relations with multiple officers in the department, outside of the department, you name it, they did it. They were going after it like they were jackrabbits. Let me just show you guys the cops too. Let me just get that out the way now, because you definitely want to see all the cops that are involved in this situation, and all the cops that all have lost their job. Even the chief of police has lost their job. But take a gander. That's just the tip of the iceberg of these officers. There's more dudes than this. And because we're dealing with some very adult-like conversation, I'm going to be using as much code words as I can. I'm just giving you guys a heads up. I know some of y'all will be like, why won't you just read the whole thing the way it's supposed to be read? Well, I can't. And I know that there's kids listening in the background. And this is a show. It's a Saturday morning. I'm sure you guys are enjoying a coffee, doing whatnot, etc. Maybe just getting the sleep still rubbed out of your eyes. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to be too much today. Okay? But this conversation is definitely something that we need to have a conversation about. Okay? And yeah, Maureen, she was busy. She was busy getting busy. You feel me? Again, we're going to be using a lot of double entendres today. Okay? And Tyler, I guarantee you, she was using them cuffs on them boys. All right? Oh, I forgot. She's married too. Yeah, she's married as well. Yeah. But we're going to get into all that. We're going to get into all this. I mean, not her, but we're going to get into the conversation. Okay? Let's 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 get into this conversation, shall we? This is insane. There's so much information that has grown from this particular story and all that. And obviously, you see the title. It's bad. Okay, it's really, really bad. And of course, there's going to be people that are going to be feeling some type of way about this, and I totally understand. We are going to talk about both sides because we have to be fair. I got my own personal opinion about this, but we do have to be fair and look on both sides of the fence. So she was out here smashing men. Also, those men be smashing her at the same damn time. Just so you guys know. Just so you know. But let's get into this. This is in the very beginning. Just so you know, this is the beginning of it all. All right. So Laverne PD officers fired, suspended for some serious adult-like misconduct. So let's get into this, shall we? Well, 5 officers with the Laverne Police Department are being released, and another 3 are suspended. So 8 officers altogether in collection. Okay, they were having their own. I don't know if they're making were they making conduct? Were they making content? I'm sorry, were they making content? You see what I'm saying? All that humping. I wonder if she had an OF page or something. Like crazy. That's a whole that's a whole lot of swinging D in one place for one woman. I'm just gonna say keep it real. Okay. Straight up O's, if you get what I'm saying. G's. OGs. Okay. Straight up. Just a whole lot of humping. Every day was Wednesday. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm going to be using a lot of double entendres from this point on. Yeah, every day was it was Wednesday. Every day was a hump day. Real talk. She was out here. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me just get let me get that out of my system. All right. So 8 officers. Okay, 5 were fired, and 3 were suspended after various bouts of misconduct and reportedly lying during the ensuing investigation into these claims. And yeah, of course, they're gonna sit there and go, I didn't do nothing. I didn't touch her at all. I didn't do nothing, man. Well, they terminated patrol officer Maegan Hall and a whole bunch of other officers. Okay. Now, the suspended officers as well, those are 3 officers that were let go as well. We don't need to go through their names. Okay. I mean, it doesn't matter. She is the star. And clearly she was the focus of their, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, they took great aim at her. I'm 12 years old. Hold up. We're going to have some fun today. Thank you so much. Old Aches and Pains, welcome to the family. Thank you so much. 12, but I'm going to hit that one more time. Thank you so much, Aches and Pains. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the, it's funny that Aches and Pains and, you know what I'm saying? Make it hurt good. Make it hurt good. But anyway, appreciate you be joining the family. Just like Old Aches and Pains, you can join the family by hitting that join button down below, be a part of the conversation, etc. Yeah. Let's just continue. Okay. Yeah. Criminally focused. Yes. We need to sometimes, you know, like I was like, I can't not let this, I have to talk about this. I just have to. I can't just, you know, even myself, I need something that I can just chuckle at a little bit, because we still have to talk about this is still a serious situation and we're going to get serious. I promise you. But the situation here is so ridiculous and so, yeah, you need to, yeah. And Jacqueline, yes, I will be covering Dylan Rounds, but I'm going to be doing a full beginning and end, or beginning to updated live probably later on this afternoon, to give you guys an updated version so that you guys know what's going on. Dylan Rounds is not a story I've covered on my channel yet, so I need to let everybody know what the story is and then give you guys the new updates, because that's also been, there has been a break in that case. So I will be talking about that too later for sure. Okay. Jacqueline, no problem. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I really do appreciate it. Okay. But I promise you, we will be talking about that this afternoon. So be on the lookout for that. Okay. So anyway, let's get into this. This information has been gathered from internal investigation by the Laverne Police Department, which contains explicit and graphic detail. According to the allegations made in the internal investigation, Hall, quote unquote, engaged in adult relations with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 officers, which was not reported to leadership. Hall reportedly engaged in a mature relationship with 2 of these officers while on duty and inside city-owned property. So in other words, they were knocking the boots in the squad car. They were smashing in the department. But she was also having these types of relations with not only just two of these cops, she was doing this with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. But she felt a little frisky and went out and did these things out of well, when they're on duty. And I guess they were saying, it's my duty to pleasure that booty, like Shaq. Real talk. Okay, let's continue. Hall also reportedly exchanged explicit photos with McGowan Holiday. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Maggie, I'm just going to say that. Shields and Schoberl, I guess. I don't know. All right, which were reciprocated, leading to charges of SH. What? So she was giving out photos to these guys too, sending them all out to all these guys. I don't understand how she turned into the focus of this all. Like, this is some crazy ish. McGowan reportedly went into the human resources office and put his hands around the neck of employee Bethany Smith, which was witnessed by a coworker. Magliocco, I guess, Powell and witness Lieutenant David Durham were all initially interviewed on December 13th and questioned about this relationship between Hall and the multiple officers named in the investigation. All of these subjects were aware of the ongoing conduct and explicit images which were sent by Hall to some of the male officers listed in the report in various capacities. Now, 2 of the officers are accused of engaging in conduct with Hall on multiple occasions, including some in oral dissertation, both on LPD property and private property. Powell has denied any conduct with Hall during his interview, but listed other officers as potentially engaging in these acts with Hall. So he said, I ain't done nothing, but I know some other people that did. So here they are. It's him, it's Ray, it's Pookie. What? So I'm not going to say anything, but I didn't do nothing. But if you need to know who else did it, I'm going to snitch. And that's exactly what they did. So Hall and 2 of these officers, including the one I just mentioned, Powell, are all stated as being married to other partners in the report. Now, Magliocco's wife was identified in the report, claiming that she was seen kissing Hall during a party that multiple Laverne officers had attended this past fall. According to an interview with Magliocco, Powell ended his involvement with Hall to conceal any activity from his wife and concerns about his position within the department. So, in other words, Magliocco's wife was cool for it. But Powell's wife wasn't cool with it. The Laverne mayor, Jason Cole, released the following statement Monday in light of the numerous allegations within the city's department and subsequent disciplinary actions. He said, this situation is unacceptable, and as soon as it was brought to our attention, it was immediately investigated and action was taken upon the individuals involved. Our top priority moving forward will include rebuilding the public's trust. I have full confidence in the police department's leadership team and their ability to lead the department. We will be retraining all our employees in the rules, regulations, and expectations set forth by city leadership. So, in other words, you're telling me that he said they're going to retrain all their employees. Of course, they fired majority of the dudes. Okay. He said, I have full confidence that the leadership team within this police department and their ability, he has full confidence in the leadership team and their ability to lead the department. Yet the man who led the department got fired too. The chief got fired. And then he's saying, I'm going to retrain all these employees. I don't think so. Let's be real. You're going to have to retrain. You're going to have to fire everybody. You just have to fire everybody or something, because there is something rotten within that department. There's a certain code. There's a certain energy. There's a certain vibe that was allowed. And it all starts and ends with Megan Hall and what she was willing to do, not willing to do. And clearly, there wasn't much she wasn't down for. Outside of this being an extramarital affair and all that stuff, I mean, here it is. It's not, they didn't break any laws as civilians. What you do with your body, and as long as it's consensual and all that stuff, I mean, that's you. Do you, boo-boo. As long as you're not hurting nobody, right? What you do behind closed doors is on you. But they decided to do this on duty. They decided to do this under company policies that are pushed and implemented within the department, within all departments, within all companies, within all workplaces. You don't go to, I mean, think about it. You don't want to know that the people that are making your pizza at Papa John's are bumping uglies 15 minutes before that, and then sticking their nasty sex hands into the cheese and putting the mozzarella all over your pizza before you pick up the pizza, right? That'd be nasty. That's how you spread diseases, right? But she went ahead and decided to put her hand in this cookie jar. Well, actually, let me say that again. 6 dudes decided to put their hands simultaneously into one cookie jar while on duty at the department, everywhere. It sounds like it's just wrong. Not only is it wrong, okay, and scandalous, because you have a husband at home, also a cop, that apparently, we're going to hear some more about him in a second. But outside of that, you say, I do. I'm going to marry this person. You and I are going to be together. Whether it's an open relationship or not, you do the open relationship while not at work. You don't do these things while you're on duty, when you're supposed to be protecting and serving. And I know there's this ongoing joke. She didn't do a whole lot of protecting, but she did a whole lot of serving. And, let's get that out of the way, right? Let's get that joke out the way. But on some real stuff, there's certain policies, there's certain things within a company, within a job, within that department that you need to abide by. They did not. They decided to use this time that they should be on our taxpayer dollars, by the way, to go out here and be bumping uglies. Then he's saying on this is the mayor saying, oh, we got to retrain everybody. No, in fact, I don't know. To me, I mean, I know it could get messy by just like dismantling the whole thing and all that stuff. But at the same time, you got a lot of people that have been involved in this. And I'm sure this goes beyond just those 6 officers and the chief, right? This goes beyond that. Okay? This goes beyond that. They're supposed to be out here protecting and serving, yet they're doing the sideways samba. Moving on, let's get into this. Vergne Police Department Chief Davis also released a statement Monday that reads as follows. This is a difficult situation for our department and for the city, but I want to be clear that the actions of a few do not represent this department as a whole. I do not entirely agree with that. I'll explain in a little bit. The situation is being, or I feel like I've already said that, okay? The situation is being addressed internally with our staff. We're bringing in counselors to help our officers work through these circumstances, and we will continue to provide the most professional protection as possible for this community. We have sufficient staff to cover all of our patrol shifts, and I have full confidence in our officers' ability to protect and serve. We are working diligently to rebuild the trust of our citizens and our community. We understand this will take time and diligence from our command staff and officers to repair the honor and integrity of our department. Let me tell you, this is still not correct. Because yes, there are a lot of people that now are looking at this and snickering. They're laughing. They're now this department, the Vergne Police Department, now is the butt of everyone's jokes. As of this a month ago, this came out a month ago. This issue is a month old. People have been talking about this like crazy. In fact, there was a story about after she had been fired, this Maegan Hall girl, local strip clubs were actually trying to offer her thousands of dollars to go up there and slide on that pole. Seriously. The amount of jokes that this is a story that's gone national, as of a month ago. She also became the butt of the joke. Well, what's wild to me is this officer, this chief of police is sitting here going, oh, yeah, this has nothing to do with how professional we are. You got 6 dudes smashing. Okay? While they're supposed to be on duty. Let me get some of these super chats really quick. Laura Estrada, thank you so much for the 5. I really do appreciate it. Nasty people out there, Pascal. How can I respect when there is no respect or integrity? This is shameful. But what's new? I do agree. I mean, we've heard all kinds of different stories. We've talked about it at great lengths over here on this show, at nauseum sometimes, about the amount of times we've seen cops do some really dirty, dirty things. I mean, this is a different level. This is in a different genre of dirty. But we've seen other things where, body cam footage falls off, or body cam falls off their uniform, planting drugs, planting guns. We've seen some really dirty things from cops. We've seen cops do dirty things. I just never heard this. And I've heard other things where, 2 cops got caught, smashing in a squad car. We've seen that. But I've never seen it to the point where it's one girl and a whole bunch of dudes, right? Straight up a scene that you probably could see on P-Hub. You see what I'm saying? Straight up stuff like that while they're supposed to be doing their job. It's insane. And the fact that she was getting tossed around is wild to me. It's absolutely wild to me. Hold on real quick. We're going to get back into this article. Kimberly in Japan, thank you so much for the 500 yen. Sorry, but what? I think I need to rewind this video to understand this. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. All right. I was about to say 50 dudes. I really was about to say 50 dudes. Okay. But it's a lot of dudes. It's a lot of dudes. Okay. And God knows if there's more and they're still hiding there. That's what I mean by the fact that the mayor's going, we're just going to retrain. We're going to rebuild. How many of these other dudes how many of these guys actually got caught? Did you catch everybody? Because if she has that type of vibe about her, because it's a vibe. If she has that vibe about her, I'm just saying, Who's to say that it isn't 6? It's 8. Shoot, it could be 12. We don't know. The people who got caught got caught. What about the other people that she didn't send scandalous photos to, spicy content to? I'm just saying. You cannot tell me that these are the only ones, or at least the ones. These are not the only ones that at least knew about this and maybe encouraged it or didn't even say anything about it. You got to remember that is the other thing too. There were other people that knew about the unprofessionalism that was going on in that department and said nothing. Because either they were holding it down for their boys, it was a bro code, or it was, trying to what's the word? Hold it down for their boys in blue or their officers in blue. Didn't say anything. They're also part of the problem. You got to remember, there's people out here. We already know that too. You know for a fact within these departments, we've seen it with Tyree Nichols. We've seen it with so many others. They will stay quiet. They won't say anything because of the code. And it's not bro code. I mean, that part, the whole 6 dudes just sweating and humping away, just nasty, okay? But it's beyond bro code. There's a code that they don't want to break. Because then if you become a snitch within the department, you get treated different. You don't get the protection that you need, so on and so forth. You see what I'm saying? You ain't got somebody doesn't have your 6. And that's something you don't want to have. So of course you don't say anything. So they are a part of the problem as well. Now, one thing I do want to point out here in this article before we continue on here, it said it earlier. McGowan reportedly went into the Human Resources office and put his hands around the neck of employee Bethany Smith, which was witnessed by a coworker. So another officer was so angry, he went into the office, put his hands around this woman's neck into the Human Resources office. Why? Because she's the one who broke the story? Because she caught him red-handed? I have questions. I have a lot of questions. But then again, this is the part that's pretty wild. Like, this is wild enough, right? This piece is wild enough about the scandals that are going on here. You have one girl with a whole bunch of dudes basically having their own 2 girls, 1 cup moment. Okay? I mean, that's nasty, but you know what I'm saying. Still nasty. All right? Her just getting straight up destroyed by a whole bunch of dudes. She is a married woman. And from what I hear, don't worry, there's more. There's a whole lot more, okay? There's a whole lot more. So more's coming up. Just you wait. But her husband apparently was trying to stand by her or stand by his woman. You know, stand by your man, right? Ain't that a song? That's a song. Instead, he was standing by his woman and saying, you know what? Everything's cool. What she does, we have an understanding, we have an open relationship, so on and so forth, right? But again, she was ridiculed, made fun of. She has become the joke, okay? I want to show this to you guys too. Let me make sure I have that. Yeah. This is true. This is very, very true. Hamburger. Hold up. Sorry, guys. Let me show this to you. And I said it earlier, but this is true too. She was offered $10,000. After all this happened, she obviously lost her job. She wasn't going to do anything. She was offered 10,000 greenbacks to go up and down on a pole, and I mean the stripper pole, not that was not a double entendre, but I just kind of made it into one. My bad, lo siento. But she was offered that because it was a joke. She was looked at as a joke. Okay? She did some very, very bad things. Now, the other thing, too, I will say this. Whatever happens in your house, happens in your house. Again, as long as it is consensual, you're not hurting nobody unless you're into that other stuff, okay? But regardless, it's behind your closed doors. It's in your home. It's in your bedroom quarters where the magic happens, right? That's one thing. Still nasty as hell, right? But still, though, it's in your house during your own time, privately doing your own thing. But when you start giving dome in the squad cars or going in to the offices and just having your own, you know what I'm saying? That is wrong and goes against policy. So damn right, you get fired. So of course she's not going to have a job, but everyone automatically goes, she loose with it though. Okay. And then now you got this. Now this was in January 26th. She was offered 10,000. Okay. To do some strippage. Okay. I can't believe this story. And it gets worse. Okay, guys? Now it gets worse. Get ready for this ish. And you see the title, so you're not gonna be that shocked. It's not like, oh my God, clutch my pearls. What he say? It's in the title down below. Huge bombshell drops. And this is the reason why I wanted to talk about it. Let's take a look at this title here. And this is true. I know it's New York Post, but at the same time, this is a true story. We have an interview that we are going to be looking at here very, very shortly. But now she is saying that she was groomed. She's 26 years old, by the way. I want to point that out. 26. She willingly did these things with these men. All of them. All of them. And maybe even more people. Now she's trying to sue. And now she is trying to scream that she is a victim. Okay. Let's get into this article, shall we? Before I go any further, hold on. Before I go any further, let's go. So, this is fitting. Ain't that fitting? Seeing her in riding that bull. Yep, riding the bull. Get it. Birthing hips. Oh, in the slow-mo. Oh, gotta love it. All right. Birthing hips. Okay. So. I'm sorry. This is just so crazy to me. Okay? And how fitting she's riding the bull on duty in full uniform. Anyway, let's get into this. So the Tennessee cop fired over numerous romps with other officers, claims in a new federal lawsuit that superiors in her department groomed her for the risque escapades. Let's continue. Maegan Hall, who is 26. She's 26. This woman, 26. She looks like she's 12. She looks like a baby, okay? That's just what I got to say about that, all right? But this is very interesting. This whole thing is very, very interesting, okay? because there's something in here that's going to be like, boom. You know what I mean? But I'll say it in here in a second. Maegan Hall, 26, who blamed her troubled marriage. Like, okay, so she starts off by saying, well, because it was the wind. It was the wind. So now she's saying she has a troubled marriage. She blames her troubled marriage on, she blames her troubled marriage for her Randy affairs. Claims, she's a Randy, claims she felt trapped and exploited in the midst of the all-male ranks of the Laverne Police Department, according to her 51-page federal complaint filed on Monday. She is now blaming everything and the kitchen sink for her wrongdoings, for things that she shouldn't have done. But she's 26 years old and she's claiming that she was G-word. And I have to use G-word from this point on, unfortunately, guys. Or broomed. But yeah, she was swept off her feet by 6 dudes at the same doggone time. But okay. While Miss Hall sought role models at her new job, she instead found predators, the lawsuit says. In place of offering professional development, her superiors or her supervisors and the chief of police G'd her for exploitation. They colluded in using their authority to systematically disarm her resistance and entrap her in degrading and abusive relationships, even sharing tips on the best ways to manipulate and exploit her. The claim calls Hall, who had a history of mental illness, bam! Let me say that again because I did stutter. The suit claims Hall, who had a history of mental illness, that's very important to hear though, felt trapped in an attempt to escape. She nearly unalived herself. One thing is very important to point out. We're going to break this whole thing down. But the fact that she says that she has a history of mental illness screams that she shouldn't have had a job in law enforcement in the first place. Yeah. Shouldn't be a cop in the force in the first place. But now she's claiming that she has mental health issues. Now she's thrown in mental wellness. Then on top of it, let's not forget this too. She throws in her damaged marriage, which she probably damaged herself. And she got a man that apparently loves her unconditionally. But because of her randy ways, she went off and smashed a whole bunch of dudes, doing that funky dope loving all over the department. But her man wanted to stand by her. To me, a man that wants to stand by her, does that say that it's a troubled marriage? Is he the one who causes it? Is she trying to claim that he was hurting her too? What could that possibly mean? Troubled marriage. But she is sitting here throwing out troubled marriage. So that caused her to go off and smash a whole bunch of dudes. Then she starts to use the all-male ranks, the higher-ups and all that, including the chief of police, for her salacious and unthinkable ways. Then on top of that, they try to like rub salt in these wounds. So he says, according to this 51-page complaint, okay, that was filed this past Monday, says Miss Hall sought role models at her job. She instead found monsters. In a place of offering professional development, her supervisors and the chief of police G'd her for exploitation. Let me say something really quick. Weren't there a whole bunch of other female officers that were in that department? You can't tell me she's the only female officer in that department. We just read something where another woman by the name of Bethany Smith, if I'm correct, her name was Bethany Smith. Bethany Smith. That's another officer. That's another person in that department. She may not be an officer, okay? She may not be an officer, but she's there. You're telling me that there aren't other female officers and they couldn't keep it in their pants? See, to me, it sounds like they had morals. And they know when to and when not to. It's very, very easy common sense. Oh, don't take my clothes off here. Oh, don't smash in this room. Oh, don't give this dude top in a squad car. Oh, okay. I shouldn't be doing that. Oops. Yeah, you shouldn't be. But now this woman is out here trying to go down this route of she was G-word. And then on top of it, even more, she's like, oh, no. And then on top of that, and then on top of that, and then also, let's not forget, I have a history of mental health issues. You shouldn't be a cop. Shouldn't be a cop. But let's continue. And then, of course, there's her photo. She was fired in January after word of steamy sexcapades with 5 other cops became public, with those officers also terminated from the department. Now, in an interview during an internal investigation, the young cop admitted she performed these acts on duty and on police property and had a 3-way with a cop and his wife. Hall told the investigator she got quote unquote stupid and got quote unquote desperate in the midst of a divorce. In her federal lawsuit, Hall, who was 24 when she first applied for the job on the force in 2020, claims she first became active with Sergeant Lewis Powell early last year. Now, and this is Lieutenant Powell. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Lieutenant Powell. Now they're saying Sergeant Powell learned that Miss Hall was going through the process of buying a home with her husband and that this process was extremely taxing on their relationship, the lawsuit said. Powell positioned himself as a reliable source of companionship and advice regarding Miss Hall's career and her marriage. So he's like, oh, don't worry. You got a dick you can lean on. I'm sorry. That just came out. Sorry. Don't worry. You can lean on my D. It's okay. Just lean on me. You know? Crazy. Powell persisted in requests for S despite Miss Hall's resistance. This is what this filing is saying. Eventually, Hall gave in to Powell's requests for favors. She said when she tried to break off the affair, Powell threatened to unalive himself. Hall said the exploitive relationship with Powell led to other encounters involving other Laverne cops. So how does smashing this dude suddenly involve, how does that go from one thing and then spread out to all these other dudes? That's the one thing I still cannot fully comprehend in my own head. Maybe you guys can understand that, but this part I don't understand. This part I don't understand. So all these other dudes, she was starting to bang this one guy, and then all of a sudden all these other guys came in just randomly. How does that work? All right. So the other cops kept their jobs, but were suspended because there were some other dudes involved. This is her husband, by the way. And, I don't know what kind of relationship they do have, whether she's telling the truth or not. I do feel bad for the dude. Because, yeah, that's some embarrassing stuff. Earlier this month, Laverne Police Chief Chip Davis was also fired. She claims the chief encouraged this behavior and shared the spicy content and fantasy of mutually hurting Hall with his trusted supervisor, Ty McGowan. She said Davis, Chief Davis, by the way, ex-Chief Davis now, but she's saying that Davis once asked her to come into his office to dance for him, tried to get her to agree to lunch dates, quote unquote lunch dates, and described her clothing as hot girl summer-ish. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Oh, come on, man. Oh, come on, man. Oh, come on, man. Okay. It's in the article. I didn't. Oh, my Lord. I did not make that up. Oh, my God. Hot girl summer-ish. What? What in the Megan Thee Stallion is going on here? Okay. All right. This is what she's claiming in this thing. So he tried to get, he was trying to get in them, he was trying to get into the yams. He was trying to get them yams, basically, according to what she says in here. She wanted him to, he wanted her to be, to dance for her or for him. He really did want her to dance for him. Okay. Oh my Lord. He wanted some private dances. You know what I'm saying? Wow. That's hilarious. This is insane, guys. He wanted dances. He wanted to have dates, like lunch dates with her. And then he described her clothing as hot girl summer-ish. But how does you go in, I want you to come in here and just be my dancer. I want some private dances. No S in the champagne room or whatever, right? He wanted a full on. I'm sorry. How does that happen? I want my own private dances and stuff. You know what I mean? How do you do that? Why do you do that? I mean, he obviously got fired for maybe because he was involved in this stuff. Maybe this is really true. We don't know, but he got fired probably because because he let this fly under his radar. He's overwatching all these people, all these officers. This conduct is happening in his department. Either he was in on the game or he just let it go. He just let that ish slide. But real talk, he wanted a private dancer. Okay? I'm your private dancer for money. You know what I'm saying? He wanted Tina Turner. He wanted some Tina Turner up in this biznai, and he did not get it. Or maybe he did. We don't know. We don't know. Wow. So in this document, it also says it claims it seeks an unspecified amount in damages for lost wages, medical expenses, mental suffering, emotional distress, and reputational harm. Yeah. Yeah, I said the Tina Turner. Okay. Come on now. You know that song. Don't act like you don't know it. Okay. Oh my God. I'm your private dancer for money. You know, do what you want me to do. Something like that. But anyway, that is real. So we got the interview here too, y'all. We do got the interview here too. And we got to check this out. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I got to jump in and out, of course, but let's rock and roll. Hit the number 1. Let me know that you guys can hear this stuff as well. This is insane to me. This screams Rosewood to me as well. I'm just going to say it now and get it out the way. Let me just say that now. But let's roll. She is literally crying wolf. That's just what I think. That's literally what I think. But we will talk about this more in just a minute. Let's take a look.
Findings of sexual misconduct rocked the Laverne Police Department. 5 officers and the police chief all fired.
One of those officers, Maegan Hall, became the face of the scandal and the target of nationwide ridicule, and she's now filed a federal lawsuit.
Tonight, in an exclusive interview with our Nick Barris, Hall describes a toxic workplace behind closed doors and how sexual misconduct spiraled out of control.
Maegan Hall was 24 years old when she was hired as an officer here at the Laverne Police Department 2 years ago. Her plan was to have a career in law enforcement. She now knows that dream is likely over.
I remember while interviewing for the position at Laverne Police Department, they described the environment as a family.
Stop.
However, while I was aspiring to protect my community, the Laverne Police Department was not protecting me.
By now, most of the country knows what happened. Hall, 4 other officers, and the police chief were fired last month. This after 2 separate investigations found that Hall engaged in sexual activity and or shared intimate photos and videos with several male officers. The chief and 2 sergeants were among those implicated. Now Hall and her attorney, Wesley Clark, are suing those 3 supervisors and the city in federal court for civil rights violations.
Maegan wasn't looked at like a rookie cop to be trained and promoted. She was looked at as a piece of meat.
Well, she was trained. Get it? Hold up. I got it somewhere here. Hold on. Oh, let me do that again. Hey, she was trained for sure. She was trained. Getting that D. But let me roll that back a little bit. The reason why I say this, the reason why I'm going, because there's 2. Okay. This really pisses me off. The reason why this angers me so much and burns my cookies is because there's a lot of women out here. There's a lot of other women out here that are actually dealing with some real things, dealing with some real tragedies, have been used, have been abused, have been violated against their will. This was all consensual in my personal opinion. It really aggravates me that we see a bunch of black and brown men that are involved in this situation. I think there's only one white man in this whole thing. But of course, in the forefront, we're seeing a lot of black and brown men that are involved in this situation. And what really aggravates me about this is that this woman is here trying to cry wolf, trying to say that, oh, no, this was done against my will. The fact that she's also saying that she was G-word is absolutely astonishing. It's absolutely astonishing. With all the other things that she is claiming, with all the other things that she is throwing onto this, she is trying to say that these guys went after her and did these things. No, the way I see this was a consensual situation between adults. They may have acted like dumb, stupid-ish children, but these were consensual decisions. This was consensual conduct done by adults. This was not something that she was held against her will. This was not a situation where it was a situation where it was something worse. I don't think this was a thing of someone abusing their power over her. These were all other officers. They were all various ranks as well. It wasn't just all higher ups. Not at all. I think she was enjoying the S. She was enjoying the attention. She maybe this awakened something that she inside of her that she didn't realize that she had inside of her. Realized that she really enjoyed that kind of thing. She became awakened sexually in some sort of way and just dove right into it. It could also be chasing a high, chasing that drug. Could very well be something that she didn't get the attention that she wasn't getting at home. But at the same time, you cannot turn to me and say that this woman was G-word. There's no way she was okay with this. No one put a gun to her head and said, send out photos of your booty right now. Send us salacious and spicy photos really quick. Please and thank you. There's no threats of those things. So how is she sitting here saying this? How can she sit here and say this? And then, of course, the lawyer's making a buck. Let's keep it real. He's making a buck. Okay? But she is literally leaning on a hashtag that I don't think she has the right to be leaning on. There are many other women that speak out and say things about them being violated in a terrible, terrible, unthinkable way. And what's sad is she's tarnishing that. She's tarnishing that. Because there's plenty of other women that are trying to get their voices heard. Plenty of women that are trying out here working so hard even to be believed. And she's messing that up right now by leaning on this type of BS. To me, this screams Rosewood. I'm just going to be real. And if you don't know that movie or you don't know that story because it's a true story, go check it out. The movie's really fantastic and heartbreaking, but it's a true story. And she's out here screaming, crying wolf. And all these guys have already lost their jobs. It's done. And they're already having the public ridicule that has already happened on them right now. They're the butt of the joke just as much as she is. They all look like damn fools. And they're disturbingly disgusting as well. And, like I've said a million times, there are plenty of places that could use a barista. So hopefully they enjoy making those Fenty lattes or whatever they're called. Fenty, whatever. Okay? But this is the kind of stuff that really aggravates me. Because you got people like AH, and then now you got people like Maegan Hall. I said it. I'm just saying it because, I understand that there's a place of people. And I'm saying this now because I know that there's some people out here that will feel like, hey, that's, what you're saying, Pascal, is not right. She could have felt powerless in a place filled with men or a place where there was higher ranks of men over her and all that stuff. Sure. Those things do actually exist, and that's real. They can abuse their power and all that, but this is not that situation. This is not that situation. This is a woman that showed up, did those things, got exposed, literally and metaphorically speaking. Now she is a joke. Now everybody's looking at her like the town hussy. And now she's trying to save face. This is a desperate attempt on trying to get her name back. And I'm telling you right now, I hope it doesn't work. Because whatever happened to these guys and how they lost their job, shoot, that's punishment enough. But now she's just trying to dig that knife in a little bit deeper and twist that knife a little bit to the left. For what reason? For what reason, y'all? So she can grab a bag? Or she has to go through with this? Because I'm sure the conversation that she had with her husband, whom at least as of a few weeks ago, was saying that he was going to stand by her, saying, oh yeah, we have an open relationship, it's all good. I'm going to be with her, I'm staying with her. Is this something that where she just, maybe he changed his mind and he was like, I can't be with you like this? And then she just leaned in on this lie? She'd been lying all this time before. She was holding that lie really well. Think about it. That was 6 dudes. 6 dudes. That I'm sure her husband had no idea that she was doing the dirty with. 6 of them. Put that in your pipe and smoke on it for a minute. Another person who's really good at lying. I'm sure of it. And now she's leaning on I'm a woman, and here's this hashtag, so I'm going to lean on it because I know for a fact that everyone's going to instantly go and lean on that part and believe me because I'm using hashtag. Get it? That's why I'm saying, no, I'm not with it. And of course, we have to play both sides of the fence. Okay? I think this is just a woman who just really loved that vitamin D. And she was getting it from work, not at home. She got caught. Now she's trying to save face. No offense, but it's way too late, and you cannot be using this now. But she gonna jump on this. Like she jumped on that D. Moving on.
To be sexualized and exploited.
Violations.
Maegan wasn't looked at like a rookie cop to be trained and promoted. She was looked at as a piece of meat to be sexualized and exploited.
Since the story broke, Hall, the lone female officer fired and only woman on the second shift, became a target nationwide for sexual jokes and taunting.
I received harassing and threatening messages on my phone daily.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to jump in and out of this like a mother lover. That's what she said. Let me say this. You cannot sit here and not reap what you sow. You cannot expect to not have people ridicule you or be a meme for a month, 2 months, or for the rest of your life if you make those kinds of decisions. You made those decisions. Extramarital affairs with multiple men. You are a cop. You did this during the time that you were on duty. This was not a situation where you were doing this on the side somewhere else on your own free time. You were doing this on taxpayers' dollars. On the taxpayer dime, you were out here trying to fulfill your OnlyFans fantasies. I'm sorry, I don't have time for it. I don't. You cannot use these excuses and go, oh, now because I'm getting so much ridicule, because I'm getting ridiculed now I got to fill out this lawsuit. No, you should have thought about that before you put anything anywhere near your body from those 6+ men, period. Let's continue. Sorry, I just don't have time for this buffoonery. This is a buffoon here. I'm sorry. I said it. I have so much room in my heart for women and men that have been essayed, that are out here trying to get their voices heard. This woman is exploiting the hell out of it for her own financial gain or to try to save face out here in this public. This is a full-on bold-faced lie. She made those decisions, and now she's trying to make it seem like, oh, yeah, no, me too. No.
I felt like I'd been terrorized.
And yes, now she is suing. No criminal charges have been filed in the case. Hall knows there are those who will say she was a consenting adult who willingly participated in sexual antics in violation of police department policy, and that now she wants to blame others, including one sergeant who targeted her early on.
I know what most people are saying. You could have said no. I get it. But my response to them is that I did say no, and he wouldn't take it for an answer. Eventually, I gave in from pressure.
So it's not as easy to say she could have just said no.
Let me have them finish the thought. I just don't understand how you can say no, or she says I did say no, because that's very serious. Let me be real. I'm not going to downplay saying no, right? And if that is a true fact, I'm not going to downplay that, okay? Because that's a very serious claim. But you said no, and then you went off and smashed a whole bunch of other dudes. So how does that work?
She did say no on several occasions. Miss Hall tried to get out of this relationship, and she was not allowed to.
Hall concedes she participated under duress. She's not saying she was raped, but adds that the salacious details made public of sex on the job put her alone center stage and do not tell the whole story.
They isolated me, they shunned me, they accused me, and they blamed me for becoming a victim.
Hall suffered.
Hold on, I'm sorry. What?
From depression to the point of considering suicide, and at one point was hospitalized. She felt trapped.
My supervisors worked together to
Hospitalized,
take
y'all.
advantage of my vulnerabilities and my mental health. And they used it for their gain and sexual pleasure.
And that
I'm sorry. I need to rewind that again. But damn right. Damn right, Ner. She said yes, over and over and over again with multiple dudes. But I need to rewind this really quick. I'm sorry. These claims are absolutely outrageous, y'all. Because let me say this, and I was just about to say this too. I appreciate Mary saying this because I was just going to say that too. We don't know the dynamics within that office. We don't know the dynamics of how the things work in that department and all that stuff. But, and of course, this is exactly what I was going to say too, is that, let's keep it real. We don't know the relationship between, because she's not saying his name here, but in the report that we just saw, Powell, right? We don't know the dynamics of the relationship with her and Powell. So we have to think about that as well. To me, I still call Cap like a mug. I still think this is Cap like crazy. I don't believe this at all. Unless Powell was to step forward and say, yes, I did this, this, and this. I forced her into this, this, and this, right? They maybe opened up the relationship, and God knows, what if he was the one who opened up the conversation with other cops and got her to go and do other things with these other cops? That could be a possibility. We have to play that side too. I don't believe it. I don't. But there could be a possibility of him manipulating her into being down for smashing other cops in the department. I will say that. To me, I still think it's Cap. But she said no, and they're claiming this is an R. So then I'm confused again. Maybe it's hey, we had fun, but there's a bunch of other dudes that think you're cute too in the office too, and maybe we do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? But that is a possibility. I will say that. I mean, I'm open to thinking about that, but to me, I feel that these claims are very, very flimsy. Okay. She needs more solid information, but I'm going to roll that back a little bit because these claims I think are absolute trash, but that's just me. These were all choices made by adults, in my personal opinion. Consensual, totally legal, but they were doing it on taxpayers' dime. That's it. But now she's trying to claim things because she's trying to save face. That's it. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it was a conversation. He was doing what he was doing, and then maybe other guy comes over and he's talking, and they're like, "Oh, you know what I mean?" He's like, "Yeah, do your thing, girl. Like, I don't care. You know, shoot, I got it. I've been done that. Like, have fun." But then it opened up to more things. But again, we do have to put out that option or that thought that maybe that we don't really know the goings-ons, all right, the vibe within that department. But I feel like there would be other women. Then I would sit here and say, I'm waiting to hear other women step forward too, then, if it's something that bad. Because maybe there was other girls. If it was like that, maybe there's other women, other female officers and other women that work in the department that have been approached in such a fashion. But, these guys' advances didn't go beyond a suggestion or a question. Do you see what I'm saying? So that could very well be it as well. But like I said, she consented. They're not claiming R, so it was consensual. She wanted to do these things. How can she go? She's not claiming that she was forced into anything. So she willingly performed these acts in the department, in squad cars, etc. She willingly did those things. So that's the part I'm saying that does not make sense. Okay. Then yes, I'm going to get to the super chats, I promise. But BB just said, show us your communication with them and the others. This is a fact, and you were coerced. If this is a fact, and you were coerced, prove it. Exactly, BB. I completely agree. You can't sit here and give all this information without actual solid evidence. And maybe that's the evidence that's going to be showing up in if they see the inside of a courtroom and all that stuff. Okay. But this is just, and to me, this is a woman crying wolf. This is a woman who's sitting there going, it was the wind. It was the wind. Instead of taking full accountability for her own ridiculous actions. Let me play that again and rolling back a little bit. Let's take a listen.
Saying she was raped, but adds that the salacious details made public of sex on the job put her alone center stage and do not tell the whole story.
They isolated me, they shunned me, they accused me, and they blamed me for becoming a victim.
Hall suffered from depression to the point of considering suicide, and at one point was hospitalized. She felt trapped.
My supervisors worked together to take advantage of my vulnerabilities and my mental health.
She claims mental health. She claims vulnerability. Miss me with that nonsense. I'm sorry. I said it. And if you got mental health issues, why use the cops then? Why using the forces? You shouldn't even be a cop.
And they used it for their gain and sexual pleasure.
And that included the police chief, Chip Davis. The independent investigation found he was aware of what was going on and even received intimate photos and videos of Hall.
Who do you even turn to
Hot girl
when the chief
summer-ish.
of police is sexually harassing you? How could I get justice when the entire system, including the chief, not only condoned such behavior, but participated in it? I was lost and I felt alone. I had no one to turn to and I had nowhere to go.
Hall now.
Okay. Let's talk about this chief real quick. Because remember, what Mary said in that comment is very true, or could be very true. that there is a energy and a vibe within that department. True, she could have been there could have been advances towards this woman at a very they could have been aggressively trying to get their attention, get her attention for a long time. But let's put into consideration this though. Okay, man, I'm trying to pause it on her, pause it in there we go. So let's put this into consideration, because the chief of police also was, according to this lawsuit, was saying he wanted private dances, he wanted to go on lunch dates, and he was calling her clothes like hot girl summer-ish. Real talk, okay? Now, two different possibilities here. One, there's this energy and this vibe within the department that they all do this to all the girls, to all the female officers there. That could very well be what it is. Or, and they're still wrong. Let me just say that too. The officers are absolutely wrong for what they did, and they should not have done what they did. Period, point blank. Okay? I just want to make that completely very, very transparent here. They are also very much in the wrong. And definitely there is some sort of vibe in this department. There is. But I don't think that vibe was created until they saw that she was willing to do whatever with whomever. And maybe that rumor started to go around. Now, the chief is wrong and disgusting for doing what he did as well. But he also saw that maybe she's a low-hanging fruit. And so he said, let me see what I can do and see what I can make happen as well. Shoot, if she's servicing all these other dudes, maybe she can service me. Not sitting here saying that that's okay. But that's probably the vibe that was out there. It was like high school. People talk, right? And these guys are all chatting, going, oh, we did this, this, and this. She out here doing, she down for this and all that, right? So he's like, oh, well, it's been a while since I had a nice young woman, Dude old. You saw the chief. Chip. He old. He's like, oh, this is going to be nice back in my day, The nice hot girl summer-ish. So he sees that and goes, oh, okay. Let me see if I can smash too. Subdo. And maybe it didn't work. Obviously, it didn't work out. But he's still a culprit in this situation, hence the reason why he was fired. But there's plenty other people out here. Plenty other guys that were involved. Where there was multiple things going on all at the same time. All at the same time. Again, aside from that misconduct from the chief, the other misconduct, which was wrong, and of course goes against, I'm assuming, any policies that go on in that department, those other officers definitely were doing a whole lot of misconducting with this woman. And again, she was cool with it. So the fact that she is still trying to claim that this was done against her will, but not claiming R, that's the part I'm going, okay, make that make sense. She's still playing the other excuses as well. Oh, mental health, and because they were all men in ranks and all that stuff. There are other women in that police department, I'm sure of it. We already heard there was another officer there, female officer. So you can't sit here and say she's the only one just chilling in the cut with all these men. So the other thing too is, if there is real corruption like this going on in the department, I'm interested to hear if other women step forward and start speaking. But you can't tell me that you were cool with this. You send out photos. You were having extramarital affairs with these men, with their wives, etc. You can't tell me that you were doing all that stuff in hopes that you're going to climb the ranks. sleep your way to the top or something like that, or feel like, oh, if I don't have relations with these men, I'm going to lose my job. No, you can't. I'm sorry, you just can't. You just can't. I'm sorry. Any other situation where there have been women and men that have stepped forward saying things like this, I believe them. I just don't believe her. I just don't. Kimberly, thank you so much for the 5. No offense, but I do know, I don't know if it's safe to go for the trauma so soon. Haven't we learned there were people who try to use this kind of stuff? Exactly. It's crazy how much she's gone in and now she's saying that she was admitted to a hospital because she was having, thoughts of unaliving herself, etc. I mean, it's bad stuff, and don't get me wrong. I'm sure she really was thinking that. But the only reason why she was thinking about that is because of the dirty that she did. The actions that she decided to take as an adult. Running around and being, being nasty with all these other men. And they may have looked at this and gone, oh, this is easy. This is easy. Not condoning their actions at all. They've lost their jobs. Hopefully they are bagging groceries somewhere. I don't think that they should be cops. Those are not the kind of cops that I want patrolling the streets and trying to protect me and mines. Okay? Even her too. But the accusations, these accusations are thicker than a snicker. All right? Lady Estrada, thank you so much for the 5. I agree, Pascal. Thank you for your honest commentaries. Thank you so much for listening. And everybody, thank you guys for just hearing it out, because I know that there's some people out here that are going to sit here and go, no. She's claiming this, so this must be true. And I'm going, okay. The whole believing every accusation, I think you got to be careful. Because there's a lot of people out here that will claim some BS on so many stories of us that are out here trying to protect the ones that are the voiceless and all that stuff, right? I feel that she's going, okay, I'm going to exploit this to the best of my ability. At least I can save face by saying, no. This was no. It was kind of against my will, but it kind of wasn't though. I'm sorry. It just doesn't work for me. It just doesn't. And I want to see more proof. The other thing too is, why didn't she say this earlier? Think about it. You realize that when this first came out, she had plenty of opportunity to step forward and say, this is what actually happened. When they were doing the investigation, when they were diving in, they were finding out all this crazy stuff, all this scandalous stuff that she was doing. She had plenty of opportunity then to step forward and say, no, I was taken advantage of, and this is what actually happened. Did she do that though? Don't worry, I'll wait. I'll answer it for you because I'm not patient. No, she didn't. She didn't. Now she's coming out with this BS. If this was according to internal investigation and all that stuff, then it would be easier for us, and at least for me, to consume this as the truth. But now she's coming out with this because she had time to sit there and marinate on this and feel crappy about all the stuff that's going on. And I'm sure her husband is looking at her different. He's side-eyeing her like a mother lover. And now she's going, man, my mom, my parents, think about the parents, how they're looking at her. She is literally the town joke right now. Actually, she is the internet joke right now. You don't think she's going to try to do everything she can? Mary just said something. I have two chats in here, and she said she probably didn't. So I can't pull it up, but she said she probably couldn't speak after after the investigation ended. Just a thought. No, you're right. You're right. But you don't think that that information wasn't in the investigation if she was to say those things during the investigation? You can't tell me that she didn't not say something at that time. That's ample time to sit there and say, no, this is what happened and this is how it went down during the investigation. She just stayed quiet and said nothing. But now she's going out to the public and telling about this. I'm sorry. To me, it just doesn't work for me. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. All right. I have such a huge heart for survivors out here. She is not one, I don't think. I just don't. I feel this is a rare moment for me too. A rare moment on the show too. Because I don't talk about stuff like this where I'm like, I don't believe her. A lot of times I'm talking about the stuff where I do believe them. This one I don't. I do not believe this woman at all. Okay? I don't. I think she's a full-on liar. She's been lying this entire time, lying on the ground, lying in the back of a squad car, and lying to her husband. Now she's trying to lie to the nation. I'm sorry. It's a lie. Okay. Mama Bear 37, thank you so much for the 5. I hope there's enough therapists in Tennessee for the amount of families hurt by this. Absolutely. You see what I'm saying? She destroyed so much. But no, again, it takes 2 or 7 to tango in this case. Okay? It takes, let's just go back to the phrase. It takes 2 to tango. Let's not forget that. It takes 2 to tango. And with her, it's probably like 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? Crazy. Just crazy, my thoughts. Just crazy, my opinion. Because this is it's opposite day for me. Usually, I'm like, oh, how could they look at these officers who did this and this is how corrupt it is. Still, it's the same stuff. Look how corrupt the office that department is. Look how corrupt all those officers were. Except it was internal. Literally and metaphorically speaking. I'm sorry, I'm 12. But yeah, crazy, right? Hold on, guys. I got some more super chats. Catco, thank you so much for the 2. I mean, the vid of her riding the bull says it all. Yeah, it does. Yeah. I'm just saying that funky dope loving, you know what I mean? Just out here just riding the bull. Riding it. T May 41. Thank you so much for the 2. What's up, man? What's up? What's popping? Brand new whip just hopped in. Okay. But, and Mary, I appreciate you bringing in the conversation. No, I appreciate you bringing in the other side of things because that's what we do on the show. We got to talk about both sides, you know? And we can't just sit here and ridicule this woman all day long. We have to be mature about this. We do have to have these conversations and we have to make sure that the message is clear. Okay. So I appreciate the conversation and I think you're doing a good job. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But I think it is also something that is very, very important as a lesson for us all as we're walking away from at the end of this whole thing. Outside of all the jokes, outside of all the comedy, outside of all the snickers and the nudge and the wink winks and the double entendres, be very wary, be very conscious of what you are doing in the workplace. I feel like that's just a normal thought, right? I would assume we're all very smart, thoughtful individuals that think independently, that think critically and independently. It's very, very important that we do that. And I feel like what I'm saying is a very low-hanging fruit comment. Don't be smashing in your workplace. Let me say that again. Don't be knocking no boots where you make your bread. It gets nasty. Do you realize that the type of diseases that she could have been spreading around? She's a walking petri dish, for crying out loud, with all these men that are going all up in the club, frequently visiting that club. I'm just saying, I feel so sorry for all the families that are involved, because every single one of them are nasty. Every single one of them. What's worse, though, what makes the situation bad for her is that she's stepping forward and trying to claim things that I don't think she has grounds to claim. That's what I think. Clearly, guys. Don't go out on your spouse. All right? Don't hit them streets going buck wild behind your spouse's back. Unless you guys have that open relationship and it's all fine and dandy. But hey, how about this? Instead of doing, like, if you're going to do that, how about find someone who is not someone that you work with? How about someone that isn't in the workplace? Trust me, you can keep it in the pants long enough to find that other person or that other flavor of the month or flavor of the week or flavor of that day. Trust me, there are plenty of watering holes you can go to and meet somebody to do as such. Don't be doing it in the workplace. Don't. And then if you do and you get caught, one, face the music. You did it. That's the bed you made. Doesn't matter how slimy and sticky it is, you better lie in it. Don't sit there, take off the covers, throw some new ones back on there where there's still a wet spot and try to act like this is a brand new, fresh, untouched bed. Stop. That stuff is still going to seep through the bed sheets. So don't even waste your time, because we already know the truth. We already know the truth. Don't even try. Catco, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being a member for the past 2 months. I really do appreciate it. She said it in a members chat. In all honesty, I think she was getting attention for the first time ever and took it too far. That's exactly what I think as well. I think she was enjoying. I think she was enjoying the ride. And maybe she's, maybe she was, before that, was a wallflower, right? And I don't mean any disrespect to that. I'm just saying, maybe she was somebody who was just left, like not really, just overlooked. And then all of a sudden, all this attention from all these guys trying to throw game at her and stuff, trying to get their Mac on. Yes, I said a 90s phrase. All right. Just trying to get their Mac on. And she enjoyed it. She ate it up. And so did they. And then they got caught. And then she got caught up. Seriously. I think she got really caught up. And Miss Lovelace, yep, she said it. That's the truth too. Maybe she just, fulfilled some sort of fantasy. Because all those men are predominantly, all the guys in that group is predominantly a black and brown group of men that were involved in this situation. You're telling me that wasn't fulfilling some sort of fantasy that maybe she's always wanted to fulfill? And whether the relationship was open or not, you see what I'm saying? It opened up a new world for her. And then she got sucked in. Maybe. I don't know. But you can miss me with this nonsense. And I will be cautious with this. You can miss me with this nonsense. But if there's more information that does come out that proves that she was G-word, even though she's an adult, then of course I'll be on here to tell you guys different. I'll be like, okay, I was wrong. I thought different. Here's the truth. But from what I'm understanding, what you take spicy photos of yourself and you send it to one of the officers because you're scared of getting fired? Really? You know what I'm saying? Like them abusing their position of power. Nah, you could just sit there and say, nah, bro, I'm not sending you nothing. See you at work tomorrow. You know? She's not claiming R, but she's saying that she said no multiple times and then she gave in. I'm not feeling it. That's all. To me, this gives me Rosewood vibes. This gives me Boy Who Cried Wolf vibes. And until I hear or see any more information, I'm screaming cap. I am screaming cap until I'm proven otherwise. So she needs to go sit down somewhere. That's what I think. Have a moment for herself. And let me say this too. If she claims to have mental health issues, maybe this is a mental health break that she's having right now. She's just claiming something that's not true to ease her own mind or something. But I don't see this lawsuit going any further than this. I don't see it going any further. I just don't. But I will say this. I hope she never patrols any city streets, any town streets. I hope she's not a security guard with some private security company or something like that. This woman should not be protecting and serving nobody. Just on the things that we've learned, just on the fact that she has come out saying that she has mental health issues, etc., that tells me proof positive she shouldn't even be doing what she was doing in the first place. But anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. All right. Tough one. Crazy roller coaster ride of a conversation. But, I hope you guys heard me out. All right. Because like I said, I got a huge place in my heart for all the survivors that are out there, that are actual survivors. This to me is not this case, this story does not scream survivor to me. It just doesn't. Again, you know how my show is. You know what I stand on and what I'm all about. And I'm here for truth. And so when I hear this story, this one, I was like, oh, come on. Especially after the claims, these bombshell claims that she just put out. To me, nah, bro. It's a no for me, dog. It's a no. It is a no. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all for being here. Really, it does mean a lot. Don't forget to hit that like button down below if you can. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. All right? That'll be greatly, greatly appreciated. Send it past 400 likes. That would be dope as hell. There's only like 2 more likes away. All right? And of course, if you haven't done that, hit that subscribe button down below. You know for a fact, we talk about everything on this show. We talk about a little salaciousness, some political, some pop culture, some true crime. I do have a story for you guys later on this afternoon, so be on the lookout for that. We will be talking about Dylan Rounds, okay? And that whole story, it's a lot to talk about, a lot to cover. So we will be talking about that a little bit later on this afternoon. Okay, guys? So hit that subscribe button and hit that join button like a lot of you guys have done already. I appreciate you guys joining the family, supporting the show. It does really, really mean a lot. Okay. But anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy it. And I'll be talking to you guys very, very soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good. Hey. Come here. dog. Bianca wanted to say hi, or she wanted to say bye. So be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. This is the Pascal Show. Bye. You want to say something? Nothing? You're not even going to... Nothing? You're not going to... Okay. She's quiet. Like this Maegan Hall. She should just stay quiet. Bye, guys.